Hi, welcome to Fix That Format. I'm Pamela. I teach the computer classes at the Arlington Heights Job Center. Some of you may have been in class with me. Since we can't meet face-to-face, I've put together a video series focused on fixing some of the common resume layout problems in Microsoft Word. This particular series of videos is about getting your document ready for printing or posting, cleaning it up with spell check. It's not the most exciting part of working in Word, but it's certainly very necessary. Okay, in this series of 3 videos, we're going to discuss reviewing a document with spell check. The second video is going to be focused on printing a document, the settings for printing. And the third video is going to be about various options for saving a Word file. I hope you'll join me for all 3. In this video, the second of the series, we're going to talk about printing in Word. So we'll talk about the page setup commands. We're going to particularly look at margins, which are probably the trickiest of those commands. And then we'll look at the file print and print preview options. Let's give it a go. Printing in Word is pretty straightforward. In fact, it's usually one of the easiest things to do in Word. But there are times when you might want to make some adjustments. The choices you make about printing are called the page setup commands, and they can be found on the Layout tab, or in some versions of Word it's called Page Layout. So here I am in Layout, and right here are the page setup commands. Probably the one that you would change at some point the most might be margins. The default margins are 1 inch all the way around, and that's just referred to as the normal style margin. You can see it just says normal here. When I click on that drop down, I get some preset choices. So if I decide I want 1/2 inch margins, I can simply click that and it will change to 1/2 inch. I know that I can double check it on the rulers. So when I look up here at the horizontal ruler, the ruler in Word 0 is essentially the left margin. So everything I'm seeing to the left of that marker is margin, and got a 1/2 inch going on. That would be the same thing with the vertical rulers. We don't usually pay too much attention to those, but they are going to tell you your margin settings. If you decide at some point you want to go back to the inch margin, that's perfectly fine. You click on the drop down, you click on normal, and it goes back to being 1 inch. On a resume, it's usually suggested that you do a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and you're probably better off with 1 inch margin, so just leave it the way it is. But for other documents, you might need to play around with it. If you just want to wait to do your page setup until you get to print, that's fine. You get to the print commands through the file. So up here it says File, and I'm clicking on that. Down here is Print. Select that. One of the nice things is if you do make a change here, you can see right away how it would look, because you've got the print preview here. So if I change the margins here to 1/2 inch, it's pretty easy to tell how it's going to look. I'm going to change that back to normal. You can also change the orientation of the page, although in Word usually we want portrait, but if you're doing a certificate or a sign or something, you might want to change it so that when it prints wider than tall. But most of the time, like your resume and everything, you would be looking at portrait. You can also change the paper size. 8.5 by 11 is the default, but you might be printing on legal paper or some other kind. And the other commands then basically have to do with, do you want to print all the pages? You don't have to. You can pick what pages you want. Generally, it's pretty smooth. Usually if there's a problem with printing, it comes because of communication issues between your computer and the printer itself, not from the Word document. So, relax about printing. It's pretty simple. To round up, you can set the document for printing by using the page setup commands on the Layout tab of the ribbon, or by just going straight to File, Print. The default margin size is 1 inch all the way around, top, bottom, left, and right. And the default print settings are set to print the whole document in portrait orientation, but you can print individual pages or groups of pages, and of course you can change it from portrait to landscape. Thanks for watching. The third and last video of this series is about saving a document in Microsoft Word. If you want a refresher on using spell check, you can check out the first video of this series. Thanks again. See you soon.